Today's MetroNews television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hello, patchy fog is possible overnight into Wednesday morning, then a sunny and seasonable day. It will become summery again by the later part of the week into the weekend. Widespread rain chances don't return until Sunday. Then we could find ourselves with above average precipitation from June 9th to the 15th, same period leaning above average for temperatures as well. But the warmth arrives before June 9th. Thursday, highs around 5 or more degrees above daily average, and we'll continue to see similar territory each day through the weekend. For any thunderstorm activity or passing showers this evening, we're seeing that generated by a system exiting to our south, but the broad high-pressure system over the Great Lakes becomes our main influencer. So anything out there at 7 p.m. just doesn't last much longer. Overnight, we will see fog start to set up. Could last until 9 a.m. or so, reducing visibility. Then sunshine becomes our main feature. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. Notice how hot it'll be by Friday if you're traveling to D.C. or New York, warmer there even than Atlanta and Charlotte. Panhandle forecast, bottoming out in the low 50s for many tonight. 50 for Morgantown, topping off here with some sunshine and 76 on Wednesday, 80 toward Moundsville. Looking east for more low 50s. Davis, a cool spot with 46. Topping off 69 for Davis on Wednesday, but a lot of low 80s as you look from Petersburg towards Martinsburg. Meanwhile, mentioned some of that fog possible. Sutton representing that potential. 47 in Elkins tonight, 76 on Wednesday. Ripley, 80 and sunny. We'll see showers exiting to the south. Temperatures here, mid-40s to low 50s overnight, as well as mid-70s to low 80s for our Wednesday. Abundant sunshine Wednesday and Thursday, some increasing clouds but staying dry for our Friday and Saturday. Then Sunday could start a stormier stretch.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Five, three,
Red 57! Red 57! Hot, hot!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Bill McKenzie kicks a 38-yard field goal on the final play of the football game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes!
It is a great night to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be.
From the home of the state's land-grant institution, inside the Health Plan Studios, in the Dale B. Miller Building in Morgantown, it's time for the state's most listened-to sports talk show. This is the CityNet Statewide Sportsline. CityNet, cybersecurity experts for the digital age. And now, across the state of West Virginia and beyond, Sportsline is on the air.
And good evening. It is Tuesday on the Sports Line. We've moved the Health Plan Studios outdoors once again. I'm Kyle Wiggs. Brad Howe is with me. We're sitting in the sun at the State High School Softball Championships in South Charleston. Brad, good evening.
Good evening, Kyle. Glad to be down here. What beautiful weather. Some great games underway.
Yeah.
We got a couple more starting, so fun to be here.
Greg Hunter is back in our Morgantown studios. And, Greg, good evening to you.
We just can't all be together, right? I mean, yesterday we were apart. Today we're apart. But that's okay. We certainly have a lot of excitement to talk about.
Right. Well, you know, as you're around MetroNews enough to know that we always have something going on.
Yeah.
So MetroNews is broadcasting all the games from the state softball tournament, so that's why we're down here. We'll get to that later. We will give you the details of what happened today, but we have to start with the performance of the WVU baseball team. And by the way, the text line is open. I have access to the text line, so send them on in. 304-TALK-304, your reaction to West Virginia's regional victory over Kentucky, another classic, and West Virginia wins the regional at home, and guys will host a super regional. West Virginia wins, and everything else in the tournament collapses. So the number one seed overall, UCLA, is out, which means Cal Poly is coming across the country to play West Virginia in a super regional. How did that happen?
It's unbelievable, Kyle, and it's kind of like there's two parallel tracks going here, and we'll get into the game from last night and what the regional was all about and what it meant, and we could spend 9 hours on the performances that came out of there. And then you're right, there's a second story that's developing that I know we'll pick up more as we get later in the week. You're sitting now 2 games from a College World Series, and you have a chance to get there on your home field. The number 1 seed is out, and as you said, team coming from California having to play an early game for them on their body clock. We haven't talked about body clock much lately. 9 a.m. on their body clock coming into your building in what was one of the best atmospheres across college baseball. It's a remarkable opportunity that's presented itself for this baseball program.
In
West
Brad,
Virginia's on the map. There's no doubt. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you guys both know, in baseball, too, anything can happen. But Cal Poly is the 73rd RPI team in the country. So it's not like West Virginia is going up against the number 5. I mean, they've got a real opportunity here.
No doubt. And I buried the lead because we're scheduled to be joined by Ben McDougal.
Yeah.
So I didn't even mention that yet. So the Bridgeport native who absolutely saved West Virginia's season on Sunday with that 5-inning performance, he will join us on the Sportsline, or at least he's scheduled to, at about 6:20. So we'll get into that. And, again, the text line is open, 304-TALK-304. Okay.
Cal, real quick on McDougal before we get into it. I'm blown away by the numbers behind him. 5 2/3 innings pitched on the season coming into the regional. He exits the regional throwing another 5 2/3. 5 of them came in the night you're talking about on Sunday night, where you absolutely had to have him, and he had to hold that team in check, and he did long enough for the bats to get going. So he was one of multiple guys that saved West Virginia's season along the way, but certainly Sunday night he was way up the list of most valuable players in this region.
And maybe, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but maybe college baseball, and again, I've followed it closely for 35 years now, is over 20 as a broadcaster. College baseball is the biggest roller coaster of any sport. Game to game, series to series, and West Virginia pulls off that incredible comeback on Sunday night, and then the shoe's on the other foot, so to speak, in the championship game on Monday night when West Virginia had a lead that evaporated instantly. A 4-run lead goes away in the blink of an eye. I mean, it is an incredible how the ebbs and flows game to game happen in college baseball, maybe more so than any other sport.
Yeah, I agree with you. And some of it, I think, is just the pace of play, right? Because it builds. The suspense builds. When a team goes on a run in basketball, it usually happens pretty quickly, and it goes pretty fast. But those swings, you're right. You're talking about just the ebbs and flows of the game, and the variance is unbelievable. And, Greg, I think that's to your point when you say, yeah, Cal Poly's coming in as the 73 RPI, West Virginia's the top 20. You will be the favorite in the series, there's no question. But weird things happen in college sports, and we just saw it over the course of this weekend in the regional.
Yeah, I mean, just look at what West Virginia's actually done the last 2 regionals, if you count their games against Kentucky last year as well. I mean, think of those swings. And Kyle, again, you've seen more baseball than all of us. Well, Brad played it, so I won't take him out of it. But anyways, I mean, no lead is safe. I mean, you get into the Major League Baseball and you go into the last inning with a run, maybe 2, you feel really good. But, I mean, Kentucky's had 6-run or 5-run leads and 3-run leads all in the final, really at bat or 2, and West Virginia's erased those at the most opportune moment.
But some of that, guys, and so that's the beauty of college baseball, is the pitching variance that comes the deeper into the series you get. And I was blown away. I mean, I was at every inning of those games watching that, and so I wasn't keeping stats. I wasn't watching the stat monitor. I was just watching the game. I lost track of how many pitchers Kentucky used. Did they use 90 pitchers in the series? They kept rolling guy after guy after guy. And so that's where you get the variance, right? And that's why you needed West Virginia's performances. Ben McDougal is one. How about Dawson Montesa? You talk about a guy that saved the season. He takes the ball against Wake Forest, goes out, and not only gave you a great night, he did what he had to do. He had to get you deep into that game. He goes to 7 1/3. He's fantastic. He advanced onto the night game. And then all he does in the second game is come back last night and takes the ball after throwing 120 pitches and walks in and starts throwing 96 miles an hour on that night. So that pitching variance is massive, and whichever team can step up and get one more out than the other, and that's what this regional was, that's who wins, and it was West Virginia this time.
The deeper you get into these tournaments, again, the deeper into your pitching staff, and to Greg's point, no lead is ever safe because you just don't know what type of performance you're going to get from a guy who has pitched multiple times in the series, or in your case, Dawson Montesa throws 120 pitches and then is called upon the very next day.
And is a flamethrower. He's not a guy that comes in and throws all off speed. I mean, that's taxing on his arm. How about this? Like, again, there's a million storylines here. But the fact, how about the break, guys, that West Virginia got? And I know as Mountaineer fans, we always go to the doom and gloom side, and we can remember the bad breaks you've got. How about the break that developed? As much as Max Yale struggled in his first outing, the fact that he comes back and is available, got the soreness out of his arm, and is available. The Big 12 Pitcher of the Year becomes available in a do-or-die Game 7 for a chance to advance on. That's a marvelous break, let alone then you feel pretty good that you're going to get a typical Max Yale performance, and it was pretty close. He goes 5 innings, stakes you to a 5-1 lead. That was a tremendous stroke of luck, happenstance, however, whatever you want to phrase it. Yale being available last night, and think of the emotional lift you get from that. From the other players saying, hey, our ace is back. There's no way he's going to struggle again. Here we go. Had to be a huge psychological boost.
And Greg, watching Yale, what were your thoughts just kind of watching him out there? He was filling up the zone. He was throwing strikes, walked no one, through 67 pitches, and I don't have the number of strikes, but I would guess 40-some of those 67 pitches were strikes.
Yeah, I'll go on Stat Monitor and try to figure that out. But you're right. After so much struggle in just his 2/3 of an inning on Saturday, that's in the first inning. He may not have been perfect. He wasn't perfect the whole game compared to what we're used to him. Obviously, only gave up a run, so he was awfully good, but maybe not quite as much command. But he wasn't outside the zone like he was on Saturday, and that was from the very beginning, and that what led me to at least believe that he was going to be fine as you move forward. He was going to give you a strong performance, however long that lasted. Didn't know how many innings he could go, but I think Brad's point was perfect. You know, it may been as much psychological as anything else for that entire Mountaineer team on Monday when he took the mound and he looked good early, and all of a sudden everybody goes, okay, we don't have to go to the 10th guy in the bullpen. We can go start with our ace in the biggest game of the year.
This is what speaks to the performances, too. We are, 10 minutes into the show talking about performances. We haven't said Gavin Kelly. We haven't said Armani Guzman. We haven't said Paul Schoenfeld, who won the game with a home run. That's the number of guys that you could go down this list and talk about that put in absolute long-time memory, maybe forever performances in this regional.
And, for a Major League Baseball player, being called Mr. May is an insult. That's the one Steinbrenner hung on Dave Winfield after he got the massive contract. But for college baseball, Mr. May is what you want to be, and that's what Armani Guzman, incredible, two years in a row.
Just incredible what he did in this regional. 10 of 22 on the regional, 7 RBIs. He drove in at least 1 run in every win. He had 5 stolen bases, and I would argue he was almost like a great shot blocker. A shot blocker can have 3 blocks but alter 7 shots, so he had 5 stolen bases. What did he alter in that game? How many fastballs did he get because you didn't want to walk him? And just the impact he had, to say nothing of the defense. He had 2 of the best defensive plays in the regional, one in right field, one at first base. He did it in 2 different spots. He was incredible, but I also think Ben Lumsden might come to you and say, hold on, I might be Mr. May, given what he's done the last 2 regionals for a guy that hasn't played much during each regular season to come in and make back-to-back all-region teams. What just a remarkable collection of players this Mountaineer team has.
One more thing here, and then we'll take a break and hopefully get Ben McDougall on the phone and get his thoughts. But the priceless marketing and display that the university has been on the last 2 days with just singing Country Roads on national TV, and it's phenomenal. That you can't buy that. You cannot buy that.
Cannot buy it. That's millions upon millions of dollars, and was the story. You were the story of the sports world and certainly the college baseball world this morning. And Greg, how many times have we been in there and seen Country Roads? I'm not sure I've seen one when you go back and watch the clips where Armani Guzman, not only is he all tournament and helps win you the thing, he's leading Country Roads on ESPN's mic on national TV, singing it while the team's out there. It was just, you're right, a wonderful performance, and I'll give ESPN credit. They captured it, number one, and the announcers stood down and let that moment play out organically, and it was an all-timer.
Yeah, we talked to their announcers throughout earlier in the week. You had them on the show. What was that, Thursday?
Jensen Lewis,
yeah. And he was just incredible with his praise of WVU, not only to us at that moment, but throughout and including today and in the afterwards. And like you said, Kyle, you can't buy that kind of positive publicity.
Incredible, no doubt. All right, we'll take a break. 304 Talk 304. We'll get the text coming up. We'll take a break, get Ben McDougal on the line, and take his temperature, get his thoughts about what it means to be an in-state guy, being in the middle of all of this. The Health Plan Studio, we've moved it outside. We're at the State Softball Championships at Little Creek Park in South Charleston. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet probably right at your front door. Now is the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. We're back on the CityNet statewide sports line after this.
Hey, this is Brad Howe for your local internet provider, CityNet. Fiber is now at your front door and even in rural areas and communities across West Virginia. Thanks to broadband expansion funding, your tax dollars helped make it possible. And CityNet turned that investment into real connections for local families and businesses. Now, you can get blazing fast fiber internet with free installation, free equipment, no long-term contract, and local customer support that's always close to home. Don't settle for slow or no internet for another day. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects.
At WVU Medicine, innovation is redefining men's health. Our specialists use advanced techniques like no needle, no scalpel vasectomy, and cutting-edge procedures for infertility. We offer precise vasectomy reversals, targeted solutions for pain, and the latest in testosterone replacement therapy, all designed to improve outcomes and recovery. For appointments, call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/urology.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line
Returns in 2 minutes.
on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
What does it mean to lead in medicine? J.W. Ruby Memorial Hospital is the top hospital in West Virginia, nationally recognized for 3 programs in 18 procedures and conditions. But to us, leadership means being first in care, in lives saved, in lives restored. In medicine, we lead in the ways that truly matter.
Longer days, warmer drives, and better deals at Dan Cava GMC. Hit the road in one of our new luxury GMC Acadias. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
Download MetroNews Television on your iPhone or Android. Search MetroNews Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
CityNet statewide sports line. Thanks for joining us. Kyle Wiggs and Brad Howe live at the state softball championships in South Charleston. Greg Hunter is in our studio in Morgantown, and our next guest is one of a long line of heroes that have emerged in this regional win. Our guy, Ben McDougal, comes in the game with West Virginia trailing Sunday night, season hanging by a thread, hanging by dental floss, and he pitches 5 innings, keeps the Mountaineers in the game, and, of course, they rally and win. We're going to talk about that, but, Ben, first of all, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
The first thing I want to ask is what it was like on the field the last 2 nights after winning these games and singing Country Roads. You had everybody in the stadium, everybody in the state, everybody in the college baseball world watching what was going on. What was that feeling like? What's going through your mind when you're doing that?
It was surreal. I think that, I don't know. You feel invincible when you have the entire state behind you, and you can feel that on the field. Every single pitch, every single out, everybody's standing up, getting behind you. And I remember looking at, after both the games, looking at all the guys, especially some of the freshmen, because, I've been doing this for a while now. And I just looked them in the face and I said, take this in, man. This is going to be one of the coolest things you ever experience in your entire life.
That's good sage advice by you right there. That's the veteran presence. That's well said. Take it all in. All right, let's stay along those lines and that line of questioning and put it specifically on you when you entered the ball game. So you come in there, and Kyle's right, hanging by a thread. You had to give a big boy performance, and man, did you. Those 5 innings, 6 strikeouts. So walk us through, what did the crowd give you in a tangible way? Did you pick up a little velo on the fastball? Did you notice the crowd once you started throwing? What did it do for your actual performance over those 5 innings?
Yeah, I'd definitely say they gave me a lot of juice. I had gotten hot, or I'd thrown the night before, and then I'd gotten hot 3 times in the first game against Wake, and then I ended up getting into that game, and I was tired. I was tired after probably that first inning, and the crowd just kept me going, kept me in the game, kept on giving me energy every single time I went out there, and it was a thrill. I remember sitting there. I think it was I had 0-2 on the first guy, but I came in that first inning. And everyone starts standing up and cheering, and I sit there and I literally verbally say, I'm like, I love this. This is what it's about. And then I strike that guy out, and I just kind of cruise from there.
So, Ben, take me back to a little earlier in the season, because as Coach Saban said it, you were dealing with an injury early in the year, and there was a point that he went to you and said, hey, do you want to medically redshirt? You still qualify for that, but you said no. You didn't get to pitch a whole lot until all of a sudden this postseason opportunity. So what led you to believe that you still had something to give this year and you could fight your way through the injury you were dealing with?
Yeah, so it even stems, the injury even stems a little bit farther than that. I've been struggling with a lot of setbacks. So right after I hurt my arm going into my senior season, and then so I was pushed back going into the fall. I had to ramp up, and then my first weekend back in the fall, I'd faced 4 batters or something. I ended up getting a few stress fractures in my back, and so I had to shut down again. And then I ramped back up in time for Georgia Southern, the opening weekend, and my first outing, I ended up hurting my arm again. So then I had to shut down again, and then finally there, I've been healthy for probably about a month and a half now. So it's been a long time coming, and it put a lot of pressure on me when it was time to make that decision on whether I was wanting to go out there and compete, and showing up the field every single day and showing and seeing the guys that I've gone to war with every single day in practice, and watched what those guys pour into the program. I really didn't think it was that big of a concept. I didn't have to think too much about it. I knew that this team, everything they've done for me, I was going to do everything I can for them. And I do believe it. I believed it the first day I met all the guys, and I still believe it to this day that we're going to be we're a special team, and we have everything it takes to go all the way.
Ben McDougal with us, Bridgeport High School graduate, came to the Mountaineers by way of Potomac State. And, Ben, let me ask you about that. How did that help you form as a pitcher? Those 2 years of junior college, and you were primarily a starter there, right? 17 starts, I believe, in 2 years. How did that play a role to your development and what you're able to accomplish now at the highest level of Division I?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, the biggest thing I always tell people when I take away from my junior college days is that while I do feel that I made a lot of jumps as a player, I feel that Coach Little and Coach Schaefer put me in the right position to grow as a man. And I think that is what has contributed the most to any success I've had in my college career, is just them being able to push me in the right direction and like the adversity that I faced and stuff like that. The lessons that they taught me while I was in junior college have helped me push through everything that I've ever had to overcome and keep moving forward.
You know, in addition to Potomac State, Cal mentioned earlier, you're from Bridgeport, and you played for Coach Bobby Shields, another guy that's unbelievable number of wins. So you stack up him and Coach Little there at Potomac State, and now Steve Saban. So you've played for some wonderful baseball guys that really understand the game. What makes Steve so unique and successful? What's he bring to this program?
I say Saves brings it's just a complete relentless grind. Every single day he's pouring every single thing he's got into the program. He wants he wants the best for every single player, every single staff member, every single person in this state. He wants to see succeed, and he just wants to bring greatness to the program every single day.
So what's this coming weekend going to be like in the Supers?
Yeah, so I'd say the number one priority today is rest. Taking a step away from the field. A lot of the guys are pretty tired, pretty stressful weekend, winning those games like that, especially coming out of the loser's bracket. So today's kind of been a hard reset, and then tomorrow we're going to get back to work. Go back to work the same way we've been doing stuff all year. Just stay process-oriented, stick to what works for us, and when the time comes, take care of business.
Now, you guys are young guys, and you probably bounce back from travel much better than us old guys do. But you've traveled to Arizona, you've traveled to Utah, you've traveled out west. Those are long, taxing trips. So put into perspective for us how difficult that is and what this Cal Poly team has in store for it on short notice, coming all the way across the country and playing at 9 o'clock in the morning on their time. I mean, that's a huge advantage for you all.
Yeah, for sure. I would say the advantage is definitely towards the Mountaineers, but I always think the advantage is towards the Mountaineers. It's definitely tough. I agree that we're younger, we bounce back a little bit easier, but it can be a lot of added stress and a lot of difficulties and all that kind of stuff, trying to juggle the hotels and the meals and all that kind of stuff. But I think that Cal Poly is going to come ready to go. They're not going to take us lightly, and we're not going to take them lightly. Because, no matter where you're at, you're playing at 9 a.m., you're playing at 2 a.m., anywhere in the country, it doesn't matter. You go out there and you go to game to win.
I don't know if coaching's in your future, but you got this PR thing down. You have got the perfect answers for all these questions. These guys trying to bait you into talking about this weekend series here. Let's go back to the 5 innings against Kentucky here for a second. I'm interested in this. When you came in, as Kyle mentioned, had to have you and had to get a bunch of innings out of you because you were deep into the bullpen at that point and you'd used a bunch of guys. What was the plan coming in terms of innings pitched? Was it 1 inning at a time? Did you come in knowing you had to get at least 3 or some number? How did you approach the coming in, and what was the mindset there as you came in?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mix of both. You gotta be where your feet are at. You gotta go one pitch at a time, but at the same time, at least for me, I came in the game and I was like, I don't even remember what inning it was, but when I come in the game, I say, I'm gonna win this game, and they're gonna have to rip the ball out of my hand, and that's what I did. I was just like, I'm gonna keep going back out there and give them everything I have until either we win, we lose, or my arm falls off.
So the regionals was a tough ticket. The super regionals are going to be harder, I'm sure, to procure. Bridgeport guy, a half hour down the road. How many ticket requests are you getting?
Oh my gosh! You asked the question, so I can't say you wouldn't believe it, but a lot of people want to come, and I wish I had about 1 million tickets to hand out to everybody that wants to show up. I try to squeeze in as many as possible. Joey Cuomo, our ops guy, his phone's been blowed up by more than just me, I'm sure, but just begging for tickets, trying to get these guys that have contributed to my career into the game, But it's pretty crazy. I'm so glad that so many people care and so many people want to come watch. And hopefully it leads to some bigger and better things. We throw some more stands somewhere, somehow, some way, and get more people into those games.
And Ben, you took an interesting approach, and the coaches probably hit right on it. But last week we understand that you were sequestered in a hotel together, and you didn't have to worry about your long-lost third cousin showing up and wanting to stay with you in your apartment. So I would imagine the plan's the same, right, for this the Super Regional weekend coming up?
From what I understand, yeah. Just stick to business like get in your hotel, get your food, get your recovery, come to the ballpark on a bus with your boys, jam out to some music on the way there, and get ready to go to war.
All right, well, very good. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much for making some time for us, and it's always special to hear from someone who's in the state that's in the middle of this contributing. And, you know, I've watched you pitch at the state tournament. I've watched you pitch Bridgeport High. I've watched you pitch for Bridgeport Legion. It's amazing that you're part of this. And, again, we really appreciate your time, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Ben McDougal there, lefty pitcher for the Mountaineers, and one of the in-state guys that's along for this ride.
Always love to see that. And how about just the mental makeup, right? You see these guys, Greg, what a competitor. Like, give me the ball. You're going to have to rip it out of my hands or we're going to win or lose with me on the mound. You can just see baseball is such a mental game, and these guys have it, and Ben McDougal's a great example of that.
304 Talk 304 text line. Let's see. Texter says, I've lost count on how many people who have no connection to West Virginia have posted the crowd singing Country Roads like last night and saying how cool it was. You can't buy publicity like that.
Welcome aboard to the folks around the college baseball world that are just getting in on the greatest tradition in college sports. Happy to have them. Love it. And you're right. It has been all over today, and it's been a blast to see.
Texter says, I've got a question here. Since Game 1 is on Friday at noon, will people be allowed to park up at the doctor's office to sit on Randy's Ridge? I think they'll probably release some details on that later in the week.
They will, Greg, and you can speak more to this, but yeah, they'll likely have maybe that backside open and allow some people in there. I will say this, though, before we go any further. A lot of credit to those stores and storefronts up in that town, or the University Town Center shopping plaza. A lot of credit to Walmart or Star Furniture across the way for just letting their parking lots be open and allowing people to park there. That made a massive difference in the ease of getting in and out of that park. So, details will come soon on that.
Yeah,
Greg.
details will come. But, as you said, the stores are still open that day. The medical center still has patients and staff, so it's not like they can just completely relinquish their parking lots. But they'll allow some opportunity for fans as well.
Texter says that he was hoping the Super Regional would be slated for a Saturday for that extra day's rest for the pitchers. That's one point. The same texter asked, when will the high school baseball seeds and matchups be released? They were released today, so I'm sure Joe Bricato's got them up at WVMetroNews.com. It was around noon today that those got released, so they're out there. You can find them at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Texter says, I thought it was crazy. Got caught in the rundown, and the guy should have been way out. He missed the tag. That was awesome.
It was unbelievable in that the two rundowns both it went two different ways, right? Because Armani Guzman should have been out and slides in there, right? Incredible.
Let's see. Text 304 Talk 304. Glad to see TV coverage of the singing of Country Roads last night, and proud of the baseball team and the staff. I say a big thank you to them because I live in Walton, Kentucky, about 30 miles south of Cincinnati. Well, the Wildcats are coming home sad.
It's amazing, Greg. How just bummed out, despondent are you if you're Kentucky baseball fans with what West Virginia has done to them the last couple years? The comeback wins, the number of wins, knocking them out. It's been a remarkable little mini rivalry here that West Virginia certainly got the better of the last couple of seasons. Yeah,
and the tears in the eyes of their coach last night. And, almost hard to see for those of us that were there, though obviously rooting interest took us another way.
Texter asked, what does the baseball team do to recover and get ready for Friday other than rest for the next 3 days? Well, you just heard Ben McDougal say it. Rest and recovery, get rest, get good
ice,
food.
Ice, treatment, massage, all of that. Yeah, rest up. And then you certainly know the adrenaline's going to get kicking later this week, but especially for those pitchers, you got to get the arms rested, getting those ice baths, and the position players, and a Matt Gravelin that catches both games of a doubleheader, right? Or Armani Guzman that's running so much. So a lot of recovery. Paul Schoenfeld, I was really worried about his shoulder when he made that dive and went down. Greg, I thought he was going to be out for a while.
Then he comes
He's fine.
back.
Just comes in, hits a game-winning home run. But get a little work on that shoulder and get all tuned up for this weekend.
You know what else they have? They can use the football cryogenics and light beds that they have over at the football side. They were talking about going over there and using that in their recovery system.
Perfect. Yeah, no doubt. Sorry I didn't see this when we had McDougal on, but Texter wanted us to ask about the scoop and throw from the glove at the plate. At the plate. You're right. That would have been a great question for Paul. I'm sorry I didn't see that before we let him go. Texter asked, do we know if the ESPN announcers calling the Super Regional, are they the same? I hope so. They were great.
I don't think they have released that, but stay tuned. I may have some information on that coming up here in the next couple of days.
All right, very good. We've got a lot more texts. We'll get to them. Since we're at the state softball championships and since the games are on Metro News, we are going to get you caught up on the details of it. I've watched the 4A games today. Greg Carey's watched the AAA games, so we will get you caught up to what has happened at the state softball finals today. We need to take a break. Of course, this is the CityNet statewide sports line. The Health Plan Studios, they've been moved outdoors for today and tomorrow as well. Since 1979, the Health Plan has called West Virginia home. From humble beginnings, they've grown alongside West Virginia, becoming a part of its fabric. For over 4 decades, they've been here through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses, proudly serving West Virginia for over 40 years. The Health Plan. We're back on the sports line after this.
If a fire occurred in your home, would your smoke alarms work? Don't wait for a tragedy to find out. Smoke alarms are designed to give you and your family the precious seconds you need to safely escape. Test your smoke alarms every month by pressing the test button until the alarm sounds. Depending on the type of battery in your smoke alarm, you may need to change the batteries at least once a year or whenever the low battery warning chirps, and never remove the batteries for any reason. Remember, having working smoke alarms is not only a good idea, it's the law. A message from the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's Office.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan. We are here for you.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Lou Wendell Marine Sales. We sell family fun.
Hello, patchy fog is possible overnight into Wednesday morning, then a sunny and seasonable day. It will become summery again by the later part of the week into the weekend. Widespread rain chances don't return until Sunday. Then we could find ourselves with above average precipitation from June 9th to the 15th, same period leaning above average for temperatures as well. But the warmth arrives before June 9th. Thursday, highs around 5 or more degrees above daily average, and we'll continue to see similar territory each day through the weekend. For any thunderstorm activity or passing showers this evening, we're seeing that generated by a system exiting to our south, but the broad high-pressure system over the Great Lakes becomes our main influencer. So anything out there at 7 p.m. just doesn't last much longer. Overnight, we will see fog start to set up, could last until 9 a.m. or so, reducing visibility. Then sunshine becomes our main feature. FlyCRW forecast, it starts at home. Notice how hot it'll be by Friday if you're traveling to D.C. or New York, warmer there even than Atlanta and Charlotte. Panhandle forecast, bottoming out in the low 50s for many tonight. 50 for Morgantown, topping off here with some sunshine and 76 on Wednesday, 80 toward Moundsville. Looking east for more low 50s. Davis, a cool spot with 46. Topping off 69 for Davis on Wednesday, but a lot of low 80s as you look from Petersburg towards Martinsburg. Meanwhile, mentioned some of that fog possible. Sutton representing that potential. 47 in Elkins tonight, 76 on Wednesday. Ripley, 80 and sunny. We'll see showers exiting to the south. Temperatures here mid-40s to low 50s overnight, as well as mid-70s to low 80s for our Wednesday. Abundant sunshine Wednesday and Thursday, some increasing clouds but staying dry for our Friday and Saturday. Then Sunday could start a stormier stretch.
Sitting at Statewide Sportsline, we're in the Health Plan Studios. Actually, we're outdoors. We moved the studios outside. State Softball Championships, Kyle Wiggs and Brad Howe in South Charleston. Greg's back in Morgantown, and Greg Carey of WVMetroNews.com alongside. Greg, good evening to you.
How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for your time. We bring you on to get us caught up. I know the AAA field's only about 20 feet over my left shoulder, but I have not seen a single pitch in the AAA bracket today because I'm focused on these Quad A games. So get us up to date. What's happened? We've seen all 8 teams play at least once today.
Yeah, and starting with the first game, not as expected. You know, the top seed, John Marshall, took care of Robert C. Byrd, a significant advantage for John Marshall in terms of state tournament experience, a team that has a recent AAA championship in a 3-class system under its belt. Byrd came here with a sub-500 record, and the Monarchs handled business 14-0 in a 5-inning victory. The second game is the only one thus far that has gone all 7 innings. It was a very thrilling contest. Point Pleasant played Kaiser. Kaiser overcame a 5-3 deficit by scoring 5 runs in the 6th inning, and those of you that follow girls high school basketball will know the name Bibbs Felton. She is one of the Kaiser standouts. She is also a tremendous softball player, hit a home run and a triple in that game, and played a key part in the Golden Tornado, the number 5 seed, defeating Point Pleasant, the number 4 seed. And then really since then, pitching has been the dominant story, and we've seen 2 programs in Herbert Hoover and Winfield that we know are just accustomed to a lot of success on this stage. They've both secured 8-0 victories. I will say that Hoover's win against Pikeview, the score not all the way indicative of the game. That was a 1-0 game in the 5th inning. Pikeview had the bases loaded with nobody out and did not score. The final out of that inning looked like it was going to be a 2-run single up the middle, and Hoover pitcher Kaylin Harper kind of stuck her glove out, pretty alert, maybe perhaps a little lucky, but got the catch, got out of that inning, and it seemed to really spark the Huskies' offense because they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th and then 4 more in the 6th to end that contest early. And then 3-time defending state champion Winfield in our most recent game secured an 8-0 win against Brook. A little bit similar to that John Marshall, Robert C. Byrd matchup that started. Winfield has a surplus of experience here. Brook is very new altogether to this stage. And last year's State Player of the Year, Maddie Carroll, threw a 5-inning perfect game for the Generals in that one.
All right, so we've got elimination games going on tonight.
Yeah, right now it's Point Pleasant and Robert C. Byrd, and I know the Eagles struck first in the top of the inning, but it looks like Point Pleasant has since scored 3 in their half of the first, and then afterward we'll have our second elimination game, and that'll be Brook battling Pikeview.
So you've got the 1 seed, the 5 seed, the 3 seed, and the 2 seed advancing. Herbert Hoover and Winfield in a winner's bracket game tomorrow. That's going to be bedlam here. I mean, the places are going to be rocking, and those are 2 tremendous programs.
Yeah, and I don't think, when you saw this bracket when it was released, did you really think you would get out of here without those 2 teams facing off at least once? Yeah. And not surprising that it comes in a winner's bracket game, but certainly 2 of the premier coaches, and Steve Hensley from Winfield and Missy Smith from Hoover, 2 of the premier programs. Both teams have a lot of success playing fundamentally sound softball, and ultimately I think whichever team tomorrow executes that at a little bit higher level will be 2-0 and in a driver's seat.
And also, Greg, before we let you go, the baseball seedings and first-round schedule was released, and that's all posted at the website.
Yeah, all 32 teams across the 4 classes, and the matchups that will begin Saturday in Huntington with the Class A quarterfinals. You can access all that at WVMetroNews.com.
Well, very good. We'll look for your work at the website. Greg Carey covering the AAA portion of the championship bracket, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Certainly. Always a pleasure.
Greg Carey, WVMetroNews.com, covering AAA Quad A today. We've had all 8 teams play as well. Cabell Midland blanked Jefferson today 9-0. Cabell Midland, the defending state champs and the number 1 seed, and Drea Watts was brilliant as usual. She threw a 5-inning perfect game with 11 strikeouts. So Cabell Midland wins that one. Morgantown in a tremendous pitcher's duel. Morgantown beat Hurricane today by a final of 1-0. And Maddie Wisman of Morgantown, she gets the victory, and she also doubled and scored the only run of the game. It was driven in by fellow senior Kira Smith, the catcher. So Morgantown beats Hurricane today 1-0, and Kate Justice of Hurricane deserved a better fate because she pitched really, really well. There wasn't much hard contact at all against her. In fact, Wisman hit that double. That was really the hardest hit ball, one of the few hard hit balls all day for Morgantown High. George Washington beat Parkersburg South 6-1, and GW has an outstanding freshman pitcher that was tremendous today, and she pitched George Washington to the victory there. And then in the last game of the day, University defeats Washington, and it was University's Maddie Campbell who threw a 7-inning perfect game for University High, and she struck out 17 in a 7-inning perfect game, a 2-0 victory.
She was dealing in a session that saw some unbelievable pitching performances. You just outlined, Maddie Campbell's stood out above the rest, but how about that? 2 perfect games in the 4 games that took place in Quad A to get this part of the tournament started.
And the freshman name for George Washington, it escaped me there for a second, but Kenzie Bellamy is the freshman pitcher for George Washington. She was victorious today. So in the Quad A bracket, Cabell Midland 9, Jefferson nothing, Morgantown 1, Hurricane nothing, George Washington 6, Parkersburg South 1, University 2, Washington nothing. You've got Jefferson and Hurricane playing right now in an elimination game. Parkersburg South will play Washington in an elimination game, and then the winners bracket games are first thing tomorrow morning. Cabell Midland against Morgantown first, and then George Washington against University. So great pitching matchup right off the bat with Drea Watts and Maddie Wisman.
Yeah, and on this game that we're watching right in front of us right now, Hurricane has jumped out early 3-0 over Jefferson.
We'll take our final break. We'll return. We'll catch up on the text line, 304-TALK 304. It is the CityNet statewide sports line. We're back to the Health Plan Studios coming up after this.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
For over 4 decades, we've been rooted deep inside West Virginia. Through thick and thin, supporting local families and businesses. Proudly serving your neighborhood since 1979. Your trusted partner in the community.
The Health Plan. We are here for you.
This boating season, elevate your family time with Lou Wendell Marine Sales. Proudly family owned for over 40 years, Lou and his sons are West Virginia's largest Avalon pontoon dealer. Trusted experts in premium boats, motors, and service. Discover refined comfort, elegant design, and performance you can feel. Now is the perfect time to take advantage of preseason savings. At Lou Wendell Marine Sales, they don't just sell boats, they sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com because the weekend's almost here.
Live from the Health Plan Studios, the CityNet statewide sports line returns in 2 minutes on MetroNews, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
You know CityNet is West Virginia's leading technology company. Whether we're managing IT infrastructures, protecting the critical data and networks of our region's businesses, or providing fiber broadband, TV, and phone services, we are your go-to experts. We're also a strong partner in the communities in which we serve. CityNet, your trusted technology partner. Learn more about us, visit citynet.net.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan proudly supports our active and healthy communities and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the Health Plan. We are here for you. construction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. With Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Final few minutes on the Sportsline for this Tuesday night. Kyle Wiggs, Brad Howe in South Charleston, Greg Hunter in Morgantown. Let's get to these texts. We're backed up a bit, see if we can rip through as many as we can. Texter asks, haven't seen the freshman Perez pitch for a good while. He started off great this year. Is he injured?
Yeah, it's a good question because he's a guy, as you were going through pitchers this weekend, that if you could recapture what he was earlier in the season, just broke onto the scene. It was fantastic, the converted shortstop. But you know, Kyle, in a weird twist, he was injured in warm-ups of, I believe it was the first day of the tournament, and has been in a knee brace for the remainder of the game. So he will be unavailable not only for the regional, as we just saw, but certainly the super regional coming up, and certainly hope that's a speedy recovery. But the brace that he was in was pretty significant and happened during warm-ups to a game.
Here's an interesting thought. Listener believes Cal Poly will have an advantage since they finished on Sunday. And West Virginia, of course, has run through its pitching staff. Who do you think will start Friday on short rest?
That's a good question. We're going to do this again like we did last week where we speculate. You know, Chanson Cole would be the obvious choice as he went game one for West Virginia, but you had to come back and use him just on Monday to get an inning in 2/3. So that's a good question. Do we see Max Yale bounce back and be ready for a Friday start? Greg, you want to weigh in on this yet, or do we need another couple of days before we put our picks in?
I think I want to wait until about 12:07 on Friday because I have no clue right now. It could be any of those guys.
Texter says was in Atlanta visiting family during the Kennesaw State series, took in the games there. Dawson Montesa started and was absolutely throwing gas, shut them down. I thought, oh my goodness, he's going to have a magnificent season. He struggled mid-season, but what he did this weekend was incredible. I love seeing guys come up from the lower levels to show they belong.
And boy, is that we've talked about it so much. That's been West Virginia's blueprint, is finding those guys. Their player evaluation of all the things this program has been doing well, I think over the last couple of years, player evaluation has to be at the top of the list.
Yeah.
They just simply haven't missed when pulling these guys from Division II or JUCO.
Texter says, I'm glad the team came back and picked up Korn after that bad inning. He's been a rock all year.
Yeah, he's been great all year and certainly going to be a valuable part of this super regional moving forward.
Your first guest had one fellow who was quite an influence, Doug Little. So he's talking about Ben McDougal talking about his time at Potomac State playing for Doug Little. I rode the school bus with him for 6 years. He was a year behind me in school at Parkersburg and was in my parish youth group since growing up in the Methodist Church. Great guy, great influence. So there's another shout-out for Doug Little.
I think all three of us echo that. We've known Doug going all the way back to his West Virginia days. Guys, it's hard to imagine 29 seasons as the head coach at Potomac State, but agree, he's one of the best guys, best coaches out there.
Texter says, great atmosphere, great games, and get rewarded with a noon start on Friday, question mark.
Hey, you want a super regional, go out and play.
Exactly. Montesa's 122 pitch outing to preserve the bullpen Sunday, and then coming in to retire the side in the top of the ninth a day later, maybe the most important part of the weekend.
That's great stuff, and he is right on that list. We said there were multiple guys that you could list in the McDougal category as you described, guys that saved the season. Montesa is certainly on that list.
Texter says it was actually a blessing in disguise, ending up in the losers bracket of the tournament. We found two pitchers in McDougal and Dawson Montesa against Wake Forest. Both had outstanding games, and we really didn't even know their potential until called upon. Mountaineer fans are in it, man. There are some tremendous observations here. Texter says, what a weekend of baseball. It was fantastic, as is your show tonight. Well, thank you for that compliment. It's enjoyable listening to you guys. We appreciate that. Summing it up, there's a feeling in Morgantown and West Virginia. Been a long time since we've had this feeling. I think we could all agree with that.
Agree. And the way it was done and the rides of emotion that this team puts you on and ends in the culmination of that Sunday night and Monday night. And you're not done. That's the great part of this, right?
Yeah.
That's just part of the story. There's still more to be written here. And I think this weekend as we go through the week, and we'll talk about it all week, and I think as we start to get into Friday and Saturday this weekend, again, you are poised for an unbelievable opportunity that sits in front front of you, an all-time moment. And listen, you guys, you know this. You're a legitimate threat to win a national championship right now. This isn't just, hey, you're in and you got a pretty good team and your program has been great. You've got a legitimate chance to win a national championship. This program has put itself in a conversation. It has earned the right to be here. One of only 2 schools in the country that has been to three straight super regionals, West Virginia and North Carolina, and you're on the doorstep of playing for a national title.
No one is back from last year's College World Series.
Not one
it's
team.
Wide open.
They either didn't make the tournament or they're not getting out of the regionals. It is wide open is right, and West Virginia is right in the hunt.
One more real quick, Greg. We only have about 15 seconds, but Texter asks, he didn't hear the Kentucky coach comments. Did he comment on the crowd and compliment the crowd last night?
Complimented the game operations and the atmosphere. He sort of took a shot at the crowd without doing so. So I don't know if he had any kind of conflict with fans or not, but did say it was an incredible atmosphere.
All right, very good. Well, guys, great show tonight. We appreciate it, and we'll do it all again tomorrow as we anticipate that Super Regional coming up Friday.
Can't wait. See you, Greg.
Thanks to Ben McDougal for joining us, for Joe Nelson helping us out, Greg Hunter, Brad Howe, I'm Kyle Wiggs. Thanks for listening.
CityNet's statewide Sportsline is an exclusive production of the MetroNews Radio Network.
All rights reserved.